Tax registration and deregistration. Article 13. Mandatory tax registration. 1. Every person who has a place of residence in the state or an implementing state and is not already registered for tax, shall register in the following situations. A. Where the total value of all supplies referred to in Article 19 exceeded the mandatory registration threshold over the previous 12-month period. B. Where it is anticipated that the total value of all supplies referred to in Article 19 will exceed the mandatory registration threshold in the next 30 days. 2. Every person who does not have a place of residence in the state or an implementing state and is not already registered for tax, shall register for tax if he makes supplies of goods or services, and where no other person is obligated to pay the due tax on these supplies in the state. 3. The executive regulation of this decree law shall specify the time limits that a person has to inform the authority about his liability to register for tax and the effective date of tax registration. Article 14. Tax Group. 1. 2 or more persons conducting businesses may apply for tax registration as a tax group if all of the following conditions are met. Each shall have a place of establishment or fixed establishment in the state. B. The relevant persons shall be related parties. C. 1 or more persons conducting business in a partnership shall control the others. 2. The executive regulation of this decree law will determine the instances where the authority may reject the application to register a tax group. 3. Any person conducting business is not allowed to have more than one tax registration number, unless otherwise prescribed in the executive regulation. 4. If related parties do not apply for tax registration as a tax group under Clause 1 of this article, the authority may assess their relation based on their economic, financial, and regulatory practices in business and register them as a tax group if their relation was proved thereto according to the controls and conditions specified by the executive regulation of this decree law. 5. The authority may deregister the tax group registration in accordance with this article as per the conditions specified in the executive regulation of this decree law. 6. The authority may make changes to the persons registered as a tax group by adding or removing persons as requested by the taxable person or in accordance with the instances mentioned in the executive regulation.